judges. Let me welcome our esteemed guest speaker for the keynote lecture. Over to you.
Okay, good morning once again. As I mentioned earlier, what we plan to do is quickly give the overall features of the NEP. I'm sure that you have read the big document, if not for the benefit of all for here. Just want to give an idea, and it will really help you understand how it works. So I can give that. I think I would take maybe about 40 minutes, not more than that. In any case. Roughly 10:50. So by 11:30, we will be able to complete the presentation. So then we will spend about 45 to 1 hour having discussion. Why I am mentioning this is, please write your questions. I think there should not be any doubt left on implementation. And there are many suggestions which have been made. Maybe at the end of the presentation and discussion, we also have to arrive at some methodology how we are going to implement any other institution. So with this, this is all known to everybody and in the country since independence, how we have really moved about the education. I don't need to read in this. But what is more important is it was in 1986 was the somewhere in between there was national education policy. Since then, a lot of work has gone, but then indeed they really happened 2020 with Dr. Kekaswaran and committee. So you can see that it has happened after 34 years. So it's important for us to really stay with this, and it doesn't say that you have to say that what they say. I think what is applicable to you, what fits you, what in your opinion is going to help in future. I think we should do that. This is, of course, those who are not really looked into the document. This is how they have really structured the report, and you can see 27 chapters are there. I think end to end, it's a very comprehensive. The one I have shown in the dotted line, what you see here, there's basically refers to the schooling, and I won't like to dwell too much on that because I'm sure that one can really get into that later. But what is really applicable in the for higher education institutions, namely the arts, commerce, engineering, medical, whatnot, I think we need to really do that. And of course, you can see that there are more about the how do we really have to structure ourselves, how do we really look at the holistic and multidisciplinary education. If we focus more in this particular direction, and also sort of they talk about they think that the regulatory system, whatever it is, it's hampering the education. In fact, we have to minimize it, come up with the recommendations. And similarly, I think there is a focus on to really give the focus to the research, and more than anything, you can see that it should be some kind of inclusive higher education. So when I say inclusive, what it really means is it is for you to really take and then implement it. It's not that you implement it against your wishes or against your, but then you can take it in the way you want. And of course, the one important thing is his focus or attention is not just to teach and then bring them as the magic. No. Suddenly you enable and equip them to learn lifelong so that the learning continues all through the life. That's how it is there. And of course, they also have given implementation about 150 action points based on the inputs that have come from various other agencies. And this is just one slide on, I think many of you may be aware, but still I think it's better to recollect certain things. What was there, what is there presently, something like a 10% structure. We are all very familiar with that. But then that's where they have gone into 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. This is truly elementary education. They call it 5 as foundational, 3 as preparatory, 3 as middle, and 4 as secondary education. In age group also they are defined from 3 to 18. This is how it is done. Whereas presently whatever is there, 10 is something like 6 to 60, that is the age group. 2 is 16 to 18, so 18 they sort of come out. And then one more thing that is mentioned here, although at the time of joining they have mentioned age is certainly not the criteria. I think if one is really good, he or she is encouraged to come out and then get into the further process and then do it. Then of course the so-called 5 is combined here, then 3 is here, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, 9 to 12. This is the change, and I think this a lot of thinking has gone. What we say is the learning abilities are very good when they are young. And that's where we need to sort of equip themselves to not that then teach physics, chemistry, mathematics. No, idea is not that. Idea is that enable their faculty system to pick up what they see, what they do, what they hear, so that they are able to sort of learn quite a lot of things. That is what I do. Now, what is new and nowadays? New and nowadays, essentially, the whole thing is implemented over a period. I think that should bring an equitable and vibrant knowledge society. That is how the country progresses. I think a lot of what has done, it's not just educating kids, but then it is sort of how to really make the country great in the community of nations. That is important. Then at the same time, you can see the focus is on access, equity, affordability, and but most important is the quality. Then of course the HEI, that is higher quality education. We had a pre-eminence at one point of time, way back in the earlier days, in all of our way in education, all the earlier days, but then we lost it because of invasion, but then we want to return back to that, what is called the global knowledge super. And we are very well at this point of time because they are the youngest country, and the human resources that are available is something really boon to the country. And as I mentioned, the learning should be holistic and it should be multi-skill. That means you don't develop an engineer, you don't develop the commerce graduates, you develop as excellent human beings who have the full knowledge of. That's one reason that multidisciplinary comes. And of course, futuristic, they have to think, then flexible, then of course value-based quality higher education, then of course towards the National Research Foundation, how the research has documented. And come to each one of them. Then of course all these things will go without mentioning that ethical constitutional value. Creativity is the action. I think I would like to stress on that. Then of course with all this, we must inculcate spirit of service pride in being an Indian. I would like to underline that. I think we should not feel inferior to anyone. I think we have the ability to become kind of global leader. Already we are at a very local the CEOs of very many companies all over the globe. I think wherever you look, they are Indian. And why we are not able to do it within the country and help the country to prosper? And what is the focus area? One is what they say is by 2040. That is 20 years when they completed it. It was 2020. That's why NEP 2020 comes because that is the year it has been accepted. And equitable access to the highest quality education, regardless of social and economic background. It's a single sentence, but then to make it happen is quite a effort. I think that's what we need to see. Then, of course, it also proposed to revise and revamp all aspects of education structure. It's also a very, very loaded setup. But how do we do that? It's regulation and governance. There, I think we have more regulators than the lawyers. So we need to really look at it. How do we do? And how do we bring excellent governance? I want to tell you that this is where the faculty members they think often that they are the only teaching subject. No, I think they must also really look at it. How do we really help in governance of the system? When I say governance, it's not just limited to finance and other things. There are many things which I want to tell you as an implementation aspect where you can contribute in each one of the areas of your interest so that you can take it forward. Then of course it should align with the aspiration and goals of 21st century. What is the aspiration and goals of 21st century? It's essentially to become the global leader and knowledge base, what I mentioned. I think that is how we have to do that. But in order to do that, the biggest emphasis is the development of the creative potential of each individual. We are able to identify in a classroom of 60 the potential of each one of them and try to encourage and emphasize. I think that is a big thing. So it's not just used as a cognitive capacity. That is, one is foundation capacity, what we call literacy and numeracy. That is important. That's what we have to follow on. Then, of course, we also have to be higher order cognitive capacity as such as critical thinking and problem solving. If you are able to keep thinking, how do they come out with the problem what they face in day-to-day life? It's not just problem of only writing in algebra, writing in geometry. I think if we don't equip them to solve the problem if they face day in, day out, I think then society will not prosper. Of course, all other things already I have mentioned, that is what is required. Now, what is the specific emphasis? You see, certain things are being repeated to say that these are taken from these 27 chapters whichever is there. They were mentioned a number of times the holistic and multidisciplinary education. And there is one sentence I want to read as it this is written none other than Surendranath himself. It says students must be given a much broader multidisciplinary foundation so as to adapt and reinvent themselves as needed over their entire working life. So the teaching is not just they pass with very high percentage, very high rank. It's essential. But then I don't think that is the only aim that we need to achieve. What is important is we must enable them to learn anything. If you are sort of graduating one particular stream, if you are given a job of something else, still you should be able to do because they are well able to learn, well able to find and master. Many of us we have done that. Similarly, without our knowledge we have done that, but it's possible. Then of course, what is important, I think, in higher education institution, we must strive hard to achieve total autonomy. I think that is the bottom line. I tell you. And of course, they are suggesting single regulatory body and they also suggest National Research Foundation single. Incidentally, I was in Delhi about 10 days back and I learned that earlier it was under the UHRD that they were trying to be a single National Research Foundation. Basically, they want to remove the inefficiencies and then try to sort of provide the adequate funds irrespective of the institution. We have discussed the other day that institutions themselves are having a varying degree of qualities and levels and financial advantages, but then purely based on the merit we should take it. And now it has been agreed more or less that it is given to the Department of Science and Technology. They will sort of establish this, taking good shape, and I think this becomes one of the very good avenues. Similarly, why we say that no learning we have to promote, and we have to make them learn things. How do we do that? That can happen only if we are able to assess on a continuous basis on various things. In order to do that, they have recommended strongly creation of a national education technology forum. Basically, evidence-based assessment on technological intervention, promoting research and production. In order to make them more viable, more useful to the society, their practical aspects are to be encouraged. And of course, the governance of the institute should be highly qualified, independent board having academic and administrative knowledge. To what extent it can be done, I think. But one thing I want to tell you is that the institutions we adopt and look in the direction they do, they may feel little inconvenient in the beginning, but in the long run it will help because institution will definitely move mindset. Then of course, what are the guiding principles? One already I mentioned, how do we check the unique capability of each of the students and then try to recognize identity poster. This is where I mentioned that responsibilities rest with the faculty members. How do they really do that? It's not that you need to throw every day in there. I think automatically you will come to know who are the weak students, who are the somewhere middle level, who are the superior students. I think we need to really provide order to the bright students. That's where I will come to that thing later, providing minor or major. This is how we are able to assimilate the best efforts that are available. Then of course they also say that bring lot of flexibility. Learning trajectory need not be in a fixed silos so that all whatever has we are taught, what we are, I think we should come out of it. I strongly believe in that. Although we have come in one way, another way, I think we don't need to continue that. Then of course, when I say the separation between all these barriers are involved. I am an arts graduate, I am a science graduate, I am a commerce graduate, I am an engineering graduate. I think ultimate also, I am committed more curricular, non-curricular vocation. All this they have to go and these are all in their opinion, they say that powerful hierarchies and silos between these different things to the extent that we can, we must remove that and bring. And I am happy to see that in this university. I have already done very good things because I hear from the secretary that you are excelling in course and many other areas, not only at the national level, international level. That is something good. Very, very good. And with that kind of base, I'm sure we can really reach a much higher level. Then, of course, the social science, like many humanities particularly, no science can flourish unless you give proper attention to social science. Your own era, your own nuclear commitment, many things which you think are there, flyovers in city, all these things you see, a lot of resistance coming from the social science and the public, but that has to be considered because it just think that they don't oppose anything. There is one thing which political leaders that you revolt, but as a common citizen, when they feel something very strong, I think we must really give the proper attention to that. That is extremely important. And of course, conceptual understanding is important. Getting out of this rote learning. Then, of course, all other things in terms of making a human being shown in the last line. That is something very important. Now, what are the additional factors? That is, why we pay them many things. There are students who are sort of very good in communication, very good in working as a team, because many of them they fail in their career because they don't. Yes, I know that maybe different probably in academics, but then in bigger organizations like ISO or DRDO or many other institutions when you go our industry, it is important that we shake hands on a continuous basis. Cooperation, these things are like extremely important. Then of course already I mentioned formative assessment we have to bring so that that helps coming out of this report coaching culture. Coaching culture is what essentially prepare them, make them really super memory power. They keep it for that 1 month, 2 months, write very well, get rank. Just after 1 month you ask any question on any of the topic. You know, sir, I studied about 1 month back and that is not good. If you don't remember something, it's not fun. So if you want to really learn something, you should treat it as fun. So how can you really make it as a fun for a person? This way the good and bad teachers matter. So they say that teacher is very good at people. Even after 55 years, they say, I remember the teacher made the subject so interesting. I think that's where it depends on how do we come out of this so-called coaching culture. Then you can see that extensive use of technology because it's a domain of technology. So that becomes very important and see how it can be done. But along with that, the next one also goes. Many times the question of the teachers and faculty, then they become brilliant. No, it is not. In fact, they continue to remain at the heart of the learning process. This you must understand. It is they who make the judgment what is to be taught in blackboard, what is to be taught in technology, and the proper assimilation. That is extremely important. Then, of course, we have to bring innovation. Today they say the country without innovation will not be able to survive in the future. So, how do we bring that culture of innovation and out of box idea? I think that is where we need to encourage. It is all very easy to say, and I'm sure that in all your minds you will be thinking how to do it. So, I think this is where there is no what you call set formula for anyone to do that, excepting that you have to come up with your own innovative way of doing things of a country. That is important. Then, of course, we have to create an ecosystem to carry out the outstanding things. That is important. This is something I don't want to get too much on that. Basically, what they say is a long-term action. I put that. How do we really make everybody who spent some time here for various reasons, maybe not able to cope with that, or some financial problem, or some personal problem, or some domestic grievances, something other we don't know in a country of 1.4 billion population. But then at the same time, a lot of debate as well. How do we really make them effective? A person who is not able to continue for 1 year for whatever reason, today the system is that they come out, but then They are useless, they are unemployable, they don't have any skill. That's why they have come up with the recommendation that how do you bring the skill level? That's why they say you give vocational training, bring as much as possible the extent that the subject that you are teaching vocational so that after 1 year for some reason not able to do, but it's not to encourage them to get out of the education institution. I think it is our responsibility to encourage them to really complete our 4 year degree and then become an excellent citizen of the country. Second year, if they do diploma, why I am saying this defines definition of the curriculum, how we are able to do that. So this is where the crux of the issue comes. How are you going to define or depart from where we are? It doesn't mean that you do everything from today or say from 6 months now. No, it's not that. We gradually we have to introduce so that we move in that direction. That is the spirit behind it. So that's where a lot of debate and discussions have to take place. Number one, you must decide when to do it. Number two is how to do it. This is important. Then of course 4 years they complete it becomes important. Then of course the credit system. How do we get the credits? Maybe in your college, maybe with ISP, maybe with ISP, maybe with Stanford University. You know, it's further. So what is all this? You create an academic bank of credits. So it's beautifully termed as ABC. And you store them. And once they reach certain level of credit in each subject, they become qualified to come out of that particular. It is something very, very important. So in higher education means institution, we have to see how the account credits are run. And this again requires a different management. Okay. Then of course in the 4 year program, once you become fully university and autonomous institution, you can be more focused to research, less focused for regular classes. So it could be a combination of the research project as well as the development. Now, how do we really promote creativity? A lot of debate has gone. One is you give certain kind of freedom to young kids, to innovators on matters of curriculum. This is where I said, please remember one thing. Once you would like to revise curriculum, don't do it in practice. Try to get the students, bright students at least, and get their feedback, particularly the third year and fourth year students, and ask them what would they like to have. In fact, we had a seminar about 1 month back at the UAC, and I suggested that involve students from both graduate level and fourth year level. I think about 25 students came, and we got the feedback. I was really surprised to hear from because they think that whereas when we think as teachers or parents, I think we are almost a gap of 20 to 30 years gap between what we learn and what we are still true to that particular thinking. So how do we do that? I think that's where you need to really utilize their thinking and embed it into your system so that you are bring a broader framework of the career education. That is important. And of course, assessment system is very, very difficult for that. That is what they say is continuous assessment. How do we do that? So that the learning process happens better, not just in one examination or two examinations and try to beat them. Then of course the choice-based credit system has to be changed to criterion-based credit system, where you sort of assess the student's achievement based on their own learning goals of each program, making the system very fair because in order to improve the ranking and other things, I think we should not fall prey to giving the internal assessment very high marks and then I think then maybe short-term gain you may have a long-term so I think we have to be very careful about that. That's why the checks and balances are to be done so that we are able to do that. Then of course this is very clear. High stakes examination, get out of that. Then of course try to encourage topic centered class. Astronomy club, mathematics club, photography club. The moment you do that, the students they join voluntarily and their heart is there. This is how you sort of encourage them to think. And suppose they work in let's say astronomy club. If they do, you encourage them to build the telescopes of their own, come up with their own ideas, sort of give credit to that, maybe that's a credit based system. They get credit, they learn something, they do very innovative kind of thinking. I think that's where it has to be done. And how do we do that? It could be not only in science and this thing, it could be even literature, it could be debate, it could be music. I had a discussion with Professor Ishbal. You may know that the diamond of the education system is no more actually. when I was to start the Indian Space and Technology, I went and asked him, "Sir, do you have any research on this equipment?" He said, "Look, one thing that you need to do is you first find out what is the interest of each student. One is interested in music, encourage them. Maybe you even offer one blue sky credit system so that that guy will do you have your own evaluation." What he said is, the moment you encourage me in my interest to promote, let's say, music, then I get encouraged all round and I do better in all other subjects. It is something very, very novel idea he gave, and in fact, when I was in IIT, the first and second year I was there, we implemented. And I could see the phenomenal change in the enthusiasm of the student, because you are encouraging some inner feeling of a student. At least it's not all 60, we may not be able to do 60, but then there are certain people who are very possessive about certain things we have to do. Then of course the online education becomes very important. Now coming to the implementation, these are all general things. Here, this is something important. Now, question is, I think you have to debate yourself. What is it you would like to do? Whether you would like to remain as a teaching intensive or teaching intensive and research I want to promote, or research intensive or teaching institution. Why I am saying is, if you look at the IITs which have really grown today, they all started as a teaching institution. That is, BTech program they started. But over a period, today, if you look at all these prominent IITs, what they have become, the undergraduate students, they are very small compared to outgraduate doctoral students. They outnumber. It has become more like an Indian student, which is again research intensive institution. Then, of course, the the holistic and multidisciplinary, you have to really sort of try to identify what are the applicabilities to this place. I think each one of you have to think, and this is where I have told, surely you here make a start so that it is possible to do that. Then this is something very important. Second line, address on curriculum without affecting the overall picture. I have a table here. I want to show you that your credits are fixed for a semester or for a year or for full course. How do you really swap certain subjects to bring in certain other subjects in order to be important to the multidisciplinary aspect and still maintain the core of it? It's a very tough job. Then, of course, when I say that you have to encourage legal system, you encourage management, you have to encourage something else, not that you need to employ the faculty members in those areas. Have some kind of trust system, a legal institution nearby, or a management institution nearby, or arrange them to come often to the institute. You also go and give on your own specialization. I think this is where the interaction between the institutions happen. That is what they learn as they. Then of course we have to have a very good technology and digital infrastructure. What it means is sort of take a survey of what you have and what needs to be done. That's why I have told you, you require a strong IT team with having experience periodically. I think that is the first and foremost thing that you need to do. Where do we stand? What needs to be done? Not that you can change everything overnight. I think at least gradually, because finance also is one, and facilities are in one, many things there are. So this is how the attention has to be given for us to move in this direction. Then of course the teachers training program, I'm sure it is there, but then that also requires some kind of revisit to see what are the skills, what are the vocational courses and other things we have to do. Then this is last but one is internationalization. This is extremely important at one side. You must have a dedicated office to identify and then work towards that. What kind of MOIs I can have, what kind of credit system I can have, whether I can send some of them for training somewhere in that institution. These are all the long-term methods. Unless you make a start at some point of time, you will not be able to progress. Then, of course, this is something extremely important. It has to be done today. That is a dedicated standing steering team to oversee like the vegetable beneficial plan in the institute with some kind of defined guidelines. You may defeat, you may overshoot, doesn't matter, but then I think this is the first and foremost thing that this is one of the things which have been done at the Sheshwara Technological University. What they have done is they set up something like 14 members strong committee from all over Karnataka. They did that. Of course, one of them from UGC, from AICC, and all that. It's about engineering education. You can see this is, I'm not saying that you do this. I think this is how it can be done. That is, you have a course area, mathematics, basic science, physics, and each one what you take, first you divide them into the course area. What are the subdivisions one can have, and what is the present credit system, and where you can really try to cut down the credits, where you can see the in order to give more focus to the practical aspect. Number 7, you can see from 15 to 32, 17 credits, that is more emphasis for practical aspect. What I mentioned in terms of, could be some project they will be working on their own interest. Encourage that. A group of 3 or 4 students come up with a particular, maybe building some UAV or building some communication system or some waste management system, not necessarily engineering subject, or how to really take care of all the so-called barriers they put on the roads. It's totally unscientific. As scientists and engineers, they will not help them to come up with very good things. Even electronic systems are being utilized to tell them in advance that there is a barrier right in front of you. That's how it is. So this is how you can see that. But what it really means, for example, in science, 24 credits, then you bring 20. The question that arises is which one will go? This is where the conflict starts. Nobody would agree that I will say, no, no, no. The physical, the subject I am teaching is chemistry design. How can you reward chemistry? I think that one is wrong. And this is where the and what are the important features that is done here? More and more emphasis is given to make it practical for every student. It's not just engineering or science or knowledge. What is more practical once they get into their career, where they need to contribute he or she, how those things can be ported into curriculum and make them sort of work in those areas, bring credit, that is important. Then of course seminars and internships can be done. Then I mentioned practical aspect. I will give you one example how it has been done in one of the institutions where I was involved. So if you really do that, this will bring some kind of attraction in the student. I would like to do something, not just only read subjects, but go and write the exam, then they feel very exam is over. Instead of that, have you seen them doing some other work and taking them for fantastic capability? We have to follow that. So it's like a mini education for. Then of course the subjects in the basic science and engineering science, how will they really be done? So the science subjects, how will it be engineering, how will it be done? Because one cannot live without the other. This is how we have to do. And another important thing is, mathematics. I think those who are there in mathematics, we sort of have mathematics 1, mathematics 2, mathematics 3, so on and so forth, and teach everybody. Is it really necessary? What is important is the electronic we have that mathematics, so also mechanical, so also technical, so also aero. I think this is where we have to do the differentiation and then see how it can be done. And this becomes important in terms of, see, already implemented in many institutions. I was the director exam on it. They have done very meticulously. Separately, they have brought the mathematics which is applicable to each of these fields, how it is done. Similarly, I mentioned about blending the science with the and also I already mentioned the problems and other things when you do it, you bring some of the society relevant problems. So maybe how to use conserve water, how to really do the waste management, many things that you can think of, and I think this is where the humanities, social science, they come in a big way. For example, one example I will show you what is being done. Basically, let us say you take one short activity and you call it as a ability analysis. You have to find what very difficult activity. Then assign credit system is being more practical. You don't have lecture, you don't have tutorial, you have practical. Let us say for one credit you have to do I think all of your activity. Upon that 15 credits you have to do how are you going to really do that? Then define a course code for that and define the modules for evaluation process. Then of course how do you evaluate? Continuous evaluation. You have periodically whichever what you have to. This is where I mentioned. You decide, you implement it. Then of course the final suggestion is what do we do? If they do that, they write a report and they make a presentation, seminar, evaluation, give that people confidence. and also you define what are the references that they need to know. So the course outcome also you define. If you really do that, it can be done on various things. You can encourage set of students to build supplies, set of students to build an automobile, a new idea about it, maybe electric vehicle, maybe UAVs, robotics, so on and so forth. This is, I don't need to dwell on this. This is basically what is really being brought out in the document as, while you have the opportunities, you also have challenges. I think yesterday somebody was asking me, we have the institutions, the bandwidth is so high in terms of quality and reputation of the institution. I think there cannot be any single way of doing things. We need to really look at it. Autonomy of university colleges are important. Then regulatory bodies, all said and done, I think that will continue to stay for quite some time. How do we do? What do we do on credit bank and transfer management? Then, of course, the employer's expectation, if you are able to hold it while doing that, it will become, it's something like a all-encompassing system that is there in terms of. But at the same time, I want to tell you that the opportunities are plenty and one can really take. Now, coming to the masters, I think there you have to really bring a lot of flexibility to offer unique designs of the master program. So, the programs you can bring in the mainstream and you also select a topic and bring more research component in your post-graduate, not just only 6 months per subject. In fact, there are very many institutions I can tell you, practically when you go either industry or other institution, we are willing to take the students for 1 year, for example, or 1.5 years, the research program and then provide the topic because they do the work, it's valued and we get benefit and they also get benefit. Then of course the integrated 5 year bachelor's master's already in place in many places. Then of course PhD could be, now the 12 years you can have the very bright, I think you have to encourage very bright BTech is there, encourage them, ask them to register as PhD and of course the MPhil program they are discouraged. Now, this is something very important. What I would like to mention is, I think as an institution, first and foremost is you must have a methodology or a roadmap how to become an autonomous institution. This is the highest priority. I'm very happy to see that you have been working on that and already a document has been prepared and I think we must not lose any time in moving that. It takes time. But then, we should not get discouraged. I think we must have an ambitious goal to do that. Then, of course, holistic and multidisciplinary. This cannot be sort of all discussing in the conference rooms or table settings. You have to dedicate a team, a multidisciplinary team. Make a start of some areas, what is that you would like to do. That team should come out with a recommended set of recommendations which can be implemented maybe next 1 year. I think we have to do that. So what is extremely important is you must come out with a curriculum redesign to account all factors, whatever I mentioned so far. It's a very tough task, very, very tough task, but committee for making changes. This is where the faculty members they have to cooperate, you have to discuss, and ultimately it should be agreed by all. Then only it will work. We cannot really give an office order saying that full mechanics is pulled out so that we are done that. That's not going to work. And at the same time, we will get there. Then of course this is one area where you need to have an office to look after the some kind of partnership with several agencies where you can go for the project work or the research projects, many other things. I think you must have a very, very strong team, particularly one who is interested so that single post office contact point with the different organizations so that you establish some kind of rapport. Every organization they have an office, whether ISO, DRDO, guarantee, SCRP, DSP. There is a person who will be after that. I think we have to integrate with that. Okay? Then of course the innovation, startup and entrepreneurship has given a big all this whatever I mentioned here, you need to form teams who can look into that. Sometimes some can be more than one also. Similarly, forming a cluster, not that you wake up one day and then say that I'll go and shake hands with them. So I think a lot of thought process have to happen. Go and have a discussion with them. Then ask the question, what if I come and help you, what is that I am gain out of it? So we need to look at it. Then of course, continuous assessment is something, it's extremely important. How do we really do it without any problem, keeping the necessary checks and balances? Then of course, internationalization. Again, you need to have it more proactive. You have to set up a mechanism how you are going to do that. Then of course, in the long run, I mentioned vocational education. If really the person has to become very useful, they have to attain some skill at the end of 1 year. So that you give a certificate so and so and sort of places. Maybe simple electrical work, what one can do in a home. If you are able to try it and then equipment, enable the person after the, for whatever reason, is not able to continue, but then we can create a difficult behavior. At least still we achieve some sort of improving in the economy and improving in whatever problems they may have. Then, of course, already I mentioned about society problems. It's difficult to define. Then, of course, the department and disciplines have to bring some kind of interlink with them. That is also extremely important. This is not so very difficult unless otherwise the concerned departments they sit down, they discuss and then see how. Otherwise, they all work in silos. They don't look at each other. I am from physics department. I am from mathematics department. I am from electrical department. That mindset has to change. Even the IIT system it is there. They don't really cooperate so well with other departments. I think, but it's not there in American university. Take Stanford, take MIT, take Caltech, or Boston University, or University of California. All these things are the Ecole Polytechnic in France. Many of these things, I think there is a different approach. We must see how to do it. Then, of course, this is where I told that is how do the faculty members judiciously follow a couple of subjects so that you can accommodate. Then, of course, how do we really implement the credit transfer from various sources, you have to come up with a scheme, how to do it. I think this one requires continuous attention. So, what all it means is when you want to implement, I think the various issues that I am discussing, make a start. Some teams and committees are formed, they are assigned that responsibility. And whatever they think, let them come up with their recommendation, which can be debated time to time, maybe on a quarterly basis, so that we can take it forward. Then, of course, serious thinking has to be given to how to really move towards design thinking. That is important. That is logical decision. That is extremely important. So unless we do that, it's not good. Internationalization is something I told you. It is really some kind of effort that is required for any international student to be signing the MOUs with foreign institutions, then credit transfer, whatever it is. So you need to have an international collaboration. In fact, every international collaboration office and alumni affairs, they are sort of combined into one. In at least 90% they are done that very effectively because the alumni they help to bring that connection with the international collaboration. So your alumni could be employed in some organization. He will act as an ambassador for you to get things. So you need to do that. There is maybe one of the teams can create a big as such you can take it forward. Then of course wherever possible you can try to promote research and other things. Have an MOU. This all will not happen overnight. We need to put effort and we must go into it. And of course credits acquired is part of foreign university. That can be permitted. So they can go and take one particular course, one credit, and how to do it we have to see that. So this is the last one, and what in summary is required is implementation there, date you have to fix. Don't worry about getting autonomy, don't worry about somebody's getting. I think within the framework of what you have a similar debate on the same line. Say that you are looking at the 1 year down the line. And in order to do this 1 year down the line, what is that I need to tighten my belts and accordingly you formulate those, suddenly you may not wake up and do international I go of 1 year. It's not what it will take. Therefore, you have to have short term, mid term, long term. I think you have to do. And in my opinion, entire NEP aspects look into that. You have to have a high power committee, energetic, young, who have the flavor to do that. You have to put it. And of course, This committee job, you may ask what it is, they have to sort of give you the various actions suggested, I don't know, repeat them, you have to monitor, to ensure smooth implementation, and also when you say the multidisciplinary and shifting the focus to practical aspects, practical benefits, again, not just science and technology, whatever else you do, whatever courses you offer. For example, in humanities, a person who is going to write a very nice fiction, encourage them, try to do that, bring it as a coursework. I think this is very innovative thinking that you need to do it. Then, of course, this is another thing, how do you introduce minor and major topics? This is where I keep telling that if you have to learn one particular subject, that faculty can be given an option to create a minor. It may not be for everybody. Right students who are in the range of 9.5 CGPA, they would be interested to learn some new subject. Could be photography, could be artificial intelligence, whatever. I think that you have to come up with it. And of course, international have to carefully thought of commercial intelligence. I think I have obtained so much of that over the markets today. It's only a question of how you sort of organize yourself and take it forward. And I'd like to stop here in 35 we will be spending maybe about 45 minutes, 50 minutes. If you have any specific questions, or I don't say I have answers for all the questions, but then debate always will turn out and will come up with the second. Thank you very much. You can ask questions. It shows that there are many, many questions which we need to look at solutions. Yes, please. Don't feel shy. I'm sure that you will have a lot of questions or answers that you are looking for each one of them. Yes, please.
Sir, can you give an idea about the implementation of NEP Manipal University? You were referring to that, and ability enhancement courses specifically, which were implemented there.
Not able to hear you now.
Sir, about the ability enhancement courses. Ability enhancement courses, which you introduced in Manipal University. Can you share a few suggestions?
Yeah, you go ahead.
I wanted to hear from you, sir.
Okay. That is regarding what actually? Not able to hear this.
Sir, you were mentioning about ability enhancement courses.
Okay. Ability enhancement courses basically when you need to really introduce the practical aspects of any particular activity. I told you, three schools you say that you would like to start development, for example, EAs, or electric vehicle. The question is, why you genuinely would take that? You say that this has a credit system as I mentioned already. Let us say that it has one number. That means 50 numbers are not at numbers that you need to spend. So you announce it as ability announcement, where they sort of learn how to really design, develop, work as a team, all the things. So that is defined as ability announcement mostly in that particular subject. It could be anything that you like. This one example I can give you. And having done that, you sort of chart out how they should do it. Basically, you have to have something like 2 hours practical classes in contact hours spread out certain periods. And in that, either you or a set of teachers, because it's again multidisciplinary, will mentor and guide them how to do it. Then you enable them to either come up with a design, paper design, or if they can really build a system to some extent and then demonstrate it. Then it may become even more than 100. So like this, the advantages, as I mentioned, you are sort of taking out one routine or rote learning in one particular subject which he or she may not be interested at all, and then involve them in thinking what's going to happen, it's not really going to happen, that you are encouraging the building some practical system. Because otherwise, how do you educate? You can't simply say that. If all of them doing it very educated on some way, you are identifying the ability of the student or set of students, they themselves become partners, and encourage them to do that. Credit system is introduced so that they learn, they sort of, when they learn certain number of credits on the topic, they are going to get the. So this is what has been debated and discussed and defined earlier. Otherwise, I put some places, science courses, then technology courses, all that we have for humanities. So these things all will be integrated after. Basically, what you are trying to do is you are enhancing the ability of the student in the area that they are interested in. So, is that clear?
Sir, who are giving training sessions to teachers at the university?
No, there are no what we call well set system or well set mechanism. I think this is where I keep telling you, you have to sort of first define what kind of training that you need to give to them, which again, in my opinion, has been generated by set of teachers. What exactly they would like to improve their own knowledge base. That once you are able to do that, then for example, let's say how many hours then one needs to learn in a particular area, you identify those areas well defined. Once the areas are well defined, you can find people who are specialized in that. You can invite them and sort of generate a training course of 2 days, 3 days, whatever. And if that will be organized the symposiums and workshops or any other thing, you have to do that. So that's why, but once you keep on doing that, it will become a standard practice. For example, HL management method. They are doing it for the year phase, and then today they have a number of such well-defined course contents, courses, and resource persons. So this has to be evolved and taken. No point in doing something trying to get a person from your own country. I think this also requires to see by and large it works well. I think in the proximity you are able to get this one person, maybe after Bangalore or maybe Chennai. If you are able to do that, I think we are done a good job. Sometimes really you want to get very specialized person today at least thanks to the COVID-19 and we can give an online lecture and an online. That's why this requires a small team to look into that and come out before that the teachers can get feedback. What is that they will think as the inputs that they require or improve themselves in that direction. That's why each of the actions, whatever I have mentioned, requires certain kind of homework and then coming out in a complete manner and take it forward. The advantage in that case, as I mentioned, is basically inclusive management. You are not sort of saying that teacher training, if all of subjects will be out, so also will come. That would be interesting. So we are able to match their own requirement and interest. I think that will be very good.
And what about the research office you mentioned? The office for research projects and
That is because what happens is today the research proposals or the project proposals are written by a number of agencies in the university or in the institution. And I also sent a proposal to DRDO. I also sent a proposal, sent also sent a proposal. And once it goes there, sometimes they give acknowledgement, sometimes they don't give. But the subsequent follow up, it's not that you are able to create one, you name it appropriately, who sort of act as a post office for all such things. The person who is identified for that particular purpose can also give a designation for that person, coordinator, director, whatever. Again,
Is it a faculty member or
no, effective. It's better to be effective because this doesn't fit them to career progression. It should be some kind of additional activity. Their teaching loads or other loads are accordingly tuned so that every teacher should continue to teach at least one subject. This is not that every day comes in the morning in 5 o'clock. It is not there. And that guy is also sort of enabled he or she to visit that protocol. We know, for example, there is a response office in expert quarters, deliberately dealing with the data person, the capacity building office. Same thing with DRD, same thing with T, same thing with GST, same thing with, and he is able to sort of establish a rapport with each one of the officers. Then subsequently he says to also give a number. When a proposal goes from NA to any this thing, you give a certain specific number, such and such a number I have given a proposal, where do I stand? Either say yes or no, so that we don't know what is happening. It's little difficult to sort of get into the system to start with. But once you get in and then they see that this institution is doing a good job, then it will become more effective. That's how the whole coordinating. Basically, it's a coordinating.
what about the Office for International Relations? That is
International
also
relation also is almost on the same line. And that's where you can also try to bring in one of the active alumni as a member and create one small group, peer group, who will advise them how to go about what is to be done. But the person who deals with that should be really very dynamic and has interest in doing these things. Unless we start this kind of thing open-ended, we don't go anywhere.
Sir, can we know the present status of implementation of this NEP in various Indian states? And do they have any specific constraints or concerns?
No, there is in fact the stuff all the mechanism between each of the states they should really push it. For example, Karnataka, which is the government which was there, the BJP government, they gave a interest, they took it in all active manner and then they encourage it. A lot of progress is happening. Karnataka is very nice. But that I think if you depend on that, the depends on mix and match. What I was told is now Chita government they say no, what they have done is not like me. I am telling you once again, don't depend on anyone. You take it on your management. That is whichever your management board is there, you say that you have looked into that, you have looked at the advantages of doing that, how to get the institution, and start implementing. One first and foremost, we define that the curriculum has to be how it can be done. Must you take that capability as well. When you are in the same structure, you are in the okay? Maybe you have to take everything. So, first, what they have done, you see, whatever is there available. I was also told up to 30% it can have the flexibility to change what. So, what within that attitude and try to change, bringing more and more into practical practice. Thereon, that's where it can be start. Having done that, then you have to progress everything all along. Close up with something, bring more and more disciplinary activities, more enhancement capability. Keeping in your own place, create the structure of the curriculum or department wise you have to do that. Once you do that, take to the board of studies. The board of studies take at least couple of senior people from other institutions, prominent institutions. They will come and say, okay, either physically or online with example, and you do that. And once it is done, there you have to give some kind of guideline, you know, For example, when you say that this much of percentage you migrate from 60% to OS system, second thing is you should have some activities related to something some 10% or 5%. Third, the newer areas which are emerging, which are industrial, artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, that also have to be so that they are more, so that it defines some tools and set guidelines. Whether that has been done only for various for otherwise one fellow does the one way, another guy does another way, that is not good. The same organization. Then that is where what we introduce and getting from what we must mode of studies is important. Then we set up yet another mode of studies is consolidated with very senior people drawn from headed by your institution. Okay? Members drawn from IITs, IAS, IAS, whatsoever you think now, some other university also. They sort of verify and see some kind of uniformity. Once that is done, that is good. That you will have objective organic message, take their enforcement, then declare that this has been done. And by doing that, you get the necessary clearance for your Abdul Kalam, one member in the final committee can do. Representative from there. And because this, when you are going to do this in a guideline, it gets started. And in order to all the reporting, there is to be one strong implementation or coordination team who will address all these issues. So, in other words, based on the discussion we have so far, one, you have to set up one strong overseeing committee on any research. Second is on curriculum structure we have to have one team. And of course, we also have this program institutionalization. One local person and one small team to support them. Similarly, to coordinate with the research and practical aspects. Like this, you can discuss it with yourself. This is just coming out of what you have. I think you have, after you organize yourself one discussion and then come out with this, somewhere you stop. After all else, you can't, you need not take on that. Come out with this solution and start functioning. You don't require anybody's clearance for this. Already have clearance. Am I right? That's what we need.
Sir, see, say I'm doing a 3-year course and I'm getting a degree from university. So another man doing his first year on say university A, second year on university B, and third year comes to my university and completed degree. Both the degrees are having same value or they are giving different degrees.
Well, this is a good and open question. That's where what you term as the document who gives it, that's all important. You say that they will not work in what we university. You must have a clarity as to where the compulsory body action and you should have some kind of understanding in some other university. And once you do that understanding, you have to calibrate with respect to your standing with the university that you're checking at their standing. Unless you bring some kind of semblance of quality, it is no point in going to some video for university and trying to get some grades and come back. Ultimately, you are at of the degree, your reputation is at stake. So that's why this requires very careful thinking. In my opinion, these are all not to be implemented immediately. These are all sort of get stabilized over a period and then think about it. What you need to do is to bring this kind of mechanism nature of our enhanced integration. I think some of the prominent areas this is, in my opinion, good to have a very big brainstorming, list down what all that we need to do. Having listed that, then you prioritize 1, 2, 3, 4, you gradually changing people should agree. It's not like this. You sit in the economic start and look by one do everything and then list it down. And as a first step, you will implement the top 5 or top 6 and start working on it. NEP implementation gets started. Then other things will keep it pending. Once we make progress in the ones we are defined, then possibly we can see what next we need to take. This period is reaching. Also, we must have courage to implement the corrections wherever. What all I said may work or may not work. That's why it's called inclusive management. I think management has to improve time to time and if there is any changing the process or changing the methodologies or getting the inputs from some other experts from some areas. There are many experts available.
So, what are the advantages of multidisciplinary education rather than concentrating on a particular stream?
No, the main advantage is, it is not uniform for all. So, in fact, for example, I can give you an example. I graduated in mechanical engineering, then in mechanical engineering. But when I went and joined ISRO, the first job was to work on a composition. I was very disappointed and it took almost a week. But I must really thank to my boss was there. And Dr. S. C. Gupta was heading the avionics and that. He encouraged, look, Suresh, as that's still reverberating in my mind. He said that you guys have become as graduates today. It's not that you are specialized in one area, you are more specialized in one area. But at the same time, we believe that you should be able to learn and do things. Then only you are the real scientist or engineer. This methodology has to be expanded to a larger extent. In order to do that, if you bring multidisciplinary not just concentrating on one particular aspect of science or engineering or humanity, you give them better exposure to other disciplines, then that guy will be more equipped to take up any challenge that will be there. Many of them, what happens is when they get into the profession, their own career progression, they get frustrated or they think differently. And in fact, they become failures in the life. The focus in the NEP is not, that's why I mentioned that it is not just graduating one or getting a rank. I don't know the name here. It was in 72, and we used to take in this row the high ranked students from Baba Research Center training. It's treated as equivalent before this. So two guys with electronics background and rank 1 and rank 4 I think they joined. There was a fight between two bosses that I want rank 1, I want rank 1 because that guy is going to be very good. But ultimately, the director has to say, no, let's not keep fighting, I will decide, he decide. Ultimately, what happened, the one who got fourth rank excelled in the career, even went on to become one of the top persons. The other one failed miserably and he has to be the organization. What it only means is facing the realities of life, realities of career, realities of the profession will be much better if one really gets the holistic view of things, multidisciplinary view of things. That is the basis on which focus is more on multidisciplinary. Multidisciplinary means it's not just, for example, working in physics, chemistry, mathematics, not that, including humanities, including photography, including some legal issues, management issues. So that's where we have to, that's where I mentioned, the capabilities of the students matters greatly. If you find the student is very bright and he or she has the interest in some particular area, we must encourage and then promote so that that person will become much more useful to the country. That's how it is. Am I clear?
Sir, can you please explain criterion-based grading system? Criterion-based grading system. You have mentioned about a shift from source-based credit system to criterion-based grading system.
Criterion based. Okay, that is, basically the criterion of whatever one is learning is embedded into that. For example, whatever I learn, simply based on the credit, based on the mark, based on that we that sort of folded more into the objective assessment that you do, that is continuous performance evaluation. When you do that, you have to bring in that whatever one is learning, to what extent one has learned, to what extent one can use that what he or she has learned into real life situation. I think that is based on that you have to set your continuous assessment in that fashion. So that really becomes the onus of the faculty members to do that. There are well-defined methodology to do that. There are agencies who are well equipped in doing these things. You can learn from them how to do it really. And once you start doing that, you will continue to pick up in this and the same mindset. One thing I told you that, for example, you find a student is interested in particular activity, let us say building some system or trying to, more, let's say, more interested in astronomy. You try to encourage, that is the criteria, that guy is more interested in becoming so he will become very active in that, and he knows how to build one telescope, how to build, how to observe the galaxy, how to understand, then the analysis therein, so that their skills that he gains, it is out of his or interest, and that is a criterion that is. This can be done. For example, you give some societal related problem. But there are many students who are more concerned what they see day in, day out in the society. If and many of them feel that if I am able to solve a problem which sort of hurts the society, I think that guy will become very useful. So there are many ways of doing the waste management. Ask that guy to come up with a totally innovative approach which is cost effective, can be implemented very fast, and that comes like that. That is the criteria. If he is able to come up with a solution that you think is right based on his project report and demonstration, that can be something. Okay? But again, you need to define the criteria rather than someone else.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, sir, yes,
They have to stand up so that you can say.
sir, I'm here. So this policy was accepted in the year 2020, and we are in the year 2023, and the state like Kerala has not come out with any clear guidelines till now. In this situation, which are the areas as an institution we should focus to begin?
I already mentioned, that is, you have to first and foremost, you need to redefine the curriculum. You are being an academic institution, number one. How do you really redefine the curriculum? And while doing that, you need to sort of give focus on how to fold in more practical aspects to the extent your regulator permits you. You must put 30% degree is allowed. They are not going to come and check exam 30% knowledge in the credit management system. You can do. Second thing is, while doing that, already I mentioned that you bring your own factors of what are the areas that you need to give focus or attention, which is unique to your institution. I mentioned some of them, but that need not necessarily be the same. For example, problems related to society, okay, and then bringing some newer topics or something related to the personal interest or career advancement. Like this, you can define It need not be again same department. It could be very. If you do that, then that is the first and foremost that you need. Second thing is that you can do within your overall thing. What is the component of research that you have today compared to learning process? I think first you have to assess yourself. I don't know where you are in the one thing is, all you teach them, they get degrees, they go out, they join something, they are very powerful, all that is fine. But as an institution, they say that there has to be advanced research in all institutions. To what extent you have research on. Towards that, you also need to consider a discussion amongst your faculty. How many of them are going to be PhD? Today, it's a prerequisite for all education institutions to gain PhDs. So you need to mount an effort, first of all, what percentage of faculty members are having, what are having, and how to promote that. You have to come up with an action plan for that. You have to set some kind of deadline by such a time they have to really register for PhD. Then how many research centers you have already? Okay. So how to enhance the research center? There could be one, there could be two. It depends on the interest of the each of the department. Third is to create, as I mentioned, research and the projects office so that that get revitalized. They not only function as coordinator, they also sort of all help to that some kind of interested youngsters, particularly because they are more creative. So you encourage them to come up with research proposals, research ideas, and also try to register more PhD students in the faculty. Faculty themselves cannot really do research as much as they wish because you are proud of your teaching classes and other all these things. So you have to see what is the number of research students that they are there, and anybody who is doing PhD, how many research students they can take. There is a cap by themselves. Studio, there are 8 or 10 people. Go to IIT, there may not be really over none of that. But I think we have to formulate all these areas. So without anybody telling, you can sort of one how to revise the curriculum and education system, falling in line with the degree. Second, how to enhance the research, how to these various things. Need not necessarily to only this. There could be many more things. I think we must look all this, analyze and come up with plan of action on each of these things. Which means you have one steering group in which has sort of something like this member education, member research, member projects. Bring those people and bring it, then you can really make it possible. It's all possible to do. You don't need to pay anybody's help or anybody's support. It's only your own management to structure what you have. You have to come up with a plan of action, put it to management and get the management support. That is much done. Either management board and council or society, whatever. Within yourself, you have to define clearly what is the approval cycle that is needed for you.
So, how are the institutions promote the use of regional languages as emphasized by the NEP?
That is an exact of question. Question is, it is not just promoting. The issue is how to generate the info, how to generate this is always being discussed. For example, northern states, Bihar and all that UP, they are very much promoting Hindi and they also do their language of teaching and all that is in Hindi only. But unfortunately, the books that are available, they are written because of the compulsion of the ECA and all that. But still, to what extent it helps, I don't know. Because many of the things they still put it in bracket in English and writing. It will take a long way to do that. It's not an easy task. They keep telling yes, it will be better to go in digital language. They will understand better. But with the multiple that way scenario, I don't know how many people. I have no reservations on it. But it's important and it's one of the recommendations. But these are all in my opinion is something you don't need to give attention for. You go where you are, concentrate on what I should be doing in the next 5 years. Define that very clearly and proceed. That's enough. For example, I also told sort of allow them to pick after 1 year, allow them to pick after 2 years. I think those things all can come. That's why I said you define what is 5 years, what is 10 years, what is beyond it. Beyond that is long term. Why take long term you put in the basket of long term so that you are not wasting your time and effort in unnecessary things which will not be helping you in the long run. I think that judgment has to be done within the institution. Okay, it looks that we have run out of the all implicit thinking. So,
Thank you, sir, for taking time to share your expertise and insights on the implementation of national education policy. Your keynote session has deepened our understanding of NEP and has inspired us to embrace the change NEP advocates. Together, let us build a better education system for a better tomorrow. May I now request Dr. Binu Varghese, IQAC coordinator, to propose vote of thanks formally.
Distinguished guest of honor, Padma Professor Dr. B.N. Suresh sir, Chancellor, Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, Thiruvananthapuram, Dr. Vinay Varghese sir, Secretary, Marathonicians College Association, Dr. Manju Kurian, Principal, Marathonicians College, Dr. Benny Alexander, Principal, Vesalius College, Medimali, and all the participants. I stand before you today with a heart full of gratitude as we conclude this enlightening conference on the implementation of National Education Policy (NEP) in higher education institutions. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to express our deepest appreciation to each and every one of you for your invaluable presence, active participation, and insightful contributions that have made this event a resounding success. First and foremost, I extend our sincere thanks to our esteemed Chief Guest and the first person of the day, Padma Professor Dr. B.N. Suresh sir, for your expertise, knowledge, and experiences throughout the conference. Your thought-provoking presentations and engaging discussions have provided us with a deeper understanding of the NEP's impact on higher education and have inspired us to work towards their effective implementation. Your dedication and passion for transforming the educational landscape is truly commendable. We are immensely grateful to our respected Secretary, Dr. Vinay Varghese, who graced the occasion with your presence and provided us with your valuable insights. Thank you, sir. I also sincerely appreciate the support and encouragement of our beloved principal, Dr. Manju Kurian, which is instrumental in driving the educational reforms and ensuring the success of initiatives such as NEP. I take this opportunity to thank Dr. Benny Alexander, Principal, Vesalius College, Medimali, for your valuable thought and presence. I would also like to express our heartfelt appreciation to the organizing committee, IQAC team, whose tireless efforts and meticulous planning have made this event possible. This conference would not have been possible without your dedication and perseverance. We sincerely appreciate your commitment in promoting quality education and your belief in the power of collective efforts to bring about positive change. Furthermore, I I extend my gratitude to all the participants, the IPC team of faculty members and faculty members of Marcellus College of Engineering and Marcellus College Adimari, who have taken the time to be part of this conference. Your active involvement and meaningful discussions have enriched the discourse on NEP implementation in higher education institutions. Your presence here today reflects your commitment to shaping the future of education and your dedication to nurturing the next generation of learners and leaders. Last but not the least, I would like to thank support staff, volunteers, and everyone else who has worked behind the scenes to ensure the smooth running of this conference. As we conclude the conference, let us carry forward the knowledge gained during this enlightening session. Let us collaborate, innovate, and strive towards the effective implementation of national education policy in our respective institutions. Together, we can create a transformative educational ecosystem that nurtures creativity, critical thinking, and holistic development. Once again, thank you all for the invaluable contributions, and we look forward to future collaborations and endeavors that will shape the future of higher education in line with the principles and aspirations of national education policy. Thank you all and have a wonderful day and a fruitful year ahead.
I have one suggestion that we have spent almost half a day and heard all this thing. What I would request the management is, I think, come out with a lot of actions we have discussed tonight. Come out, some of them which are feasible and take it forward. You are able to act on that and then make progress. Maybe after 3 months, I'm willing to give my free service to over online. Listen to you and then see whether you are in the right direction or anything has to be done. So this is my request to you so that it's not just discussed between four walls and definitely they should not happen. Thank you. You can call up on the online meeting. Network itself will be based on what you may see that interested to see that they happen. Many times we discuss, we spend time, but then in fact I told you, same thing I did again, same thing I did because I was in a position to drive them. It's fully implemented and still all this what I've been doing is not based on general thinking, based on the implementation. That's why I have to take what can be done or what cannot be done. So I'm sure that if you are able to take it forward and define your methodology and all that, if you do that, whatever really you do, I think we can design after 3 months. I think 3 months is minimum your 4 doesn't matter. But then you are in the right direction. Thank you.
Once again, thank you one and all of you for being part of this session. Thank you and have a great day.